Hey guys, welcome to Channel 2S, your home for Gunpla news, reviews, and more. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and today we're going to be unboxing Char's Zaku 1 from the high-grade Gundam The Origin series. And like I've said several times, actually pretty much every time I've mentioned this model, this is not the Zaku 1 S-Type that we got back in November that had the alternate shoulder pads. This is the other version of Char's Zaku 1 that we got in March. So with that out of the way, let's take a closer look at the box. So the box art for Char Zaku 1 isn't really that impressive. It's kind of just the mobile suit just standing here and firing. Over on the left side there is kind of an explosion, but for the most part it is a very simple, very subdued piece of box art, which I suppose does fit since this is a very bare bones mobile suit. On the underside of the box we are, as always, met with front and back images of the completed model, as well as a photoshopped image of the Zaku 1 in action, replicating a scene from the original OVA. Next to that, we have some line art for Char as he appeared in Gundam The Origin Episode 4. And then below all that, there is a little bit of story information about the Zaku 1, a little bit of the story of the Battle of Mare Smithy, I think it was? Yeah, Mare Smithy. Also next to that, there's a little bit of information about the OVA itself, and more of a kind of general synopsis on the storyline of that animation. Side of the box, as always, is just kind of a cut down version of the front of the box. It has pretty much all the same information, just kind of condensed down. The only new thing they have here is the number of the kit, which is number 15, so they've actually come a pretty long ways with the Gundam The Origin line, even though they've made maybe 3 molds for the entire series. And then on the top we have, as always, some action shots of the kit showing off what he can do. We have him with his Heat Hawk and shield right here. Over here you can see him replicating the pose from the front of the box art, which is probably the easiest to replicate box art pose we've gotten in the last 15 years. Next to that we have a few little windows here that are showing us just how much articulation this kit's going to have. Of course, I'm familiar with all these joints already because I've built both Char's Zaku 1 and the Bugu, so I'm going to be very familiar with this model as I'm building it. However, it's still a nice little reminder of just how awesome these Origin kits are. And then below all that, you get a little call out for the hands, showing you that you get some alternate hands for holding his different weapons. Next to that, the markings this kit comes with, they are still the same sticker markings that all the other high-grade Origin kits have. I don't really like them that much. The only ones I really ever end up putting on are like the little emblems and then the numbers. And then beside that we just have the MSRP of the kit, which is 1700 yen, which I believe is just a little bit cheaper than average for the Origin kits, but I'm not sure. Nope, never mind. That's exactly what Char Zaku 2 cost. And then around that we just have the same general legal stuff that you see on the side of every Gunpla box. So with the box open, we are met with 1, 2, 3 bags of parts, the multilingual bluefin assembly instructions, and the kit's manual. Okay, so now that the bags are open, we can take a look at the parts. Now it does appear this kit is using a lot of parts from other kits. In fact, I don't think there's a single new runner on this kit. This right here is the C runner. It's the first runner you see when you open the kit up. Right now it's not showing its color very well on camera. This is actually kind of a dark red. Hopefully you can see that if I pull this up closer to the camera. But this is the same color that's used for the dark red accents on Char Zaku 2, so it's not quite as light as it appears on the screen right now. The D runner here is pulled straight from the Zaku 2, I think, although they might have actually cut some parts off of it. But for the most part, this is the same general runner of internal parts that you get with the Zaku 2 and the Bugu, and basically every Zeon kit from Gundam The Origin. Next we have the A1 runner, which does have a lot of areas cut out of it. Now this is that kind of lighter, I don't even want to call it salmon pink, it's kind of that light orangey red that they used for the main body of Char Zaku 2 from the earlier on in the Gundam The Origin line. And again, this is a new runner for the Zaku 1, but it's not new to this Zaku 1. They already used it on the November version of Char Zaku 1, and they already used it on the Denim Slender Customs. So, again, not really that new of a runner, nothing really that new to see here, unless you haven't built the Zaku 1. In the next bag, we're met with the C2 runner, which is the exact same shield that came with the Bugu, and presumably also with the Gun Cannon Early type. Then we have the D2 runner, which is more inner body parts that are used across every single one of these Zeon Origin kits. And B1 is more generic Origin Zaku parts. Now the H2 runner is entirely taken up by parts for the Zaku machine gun, which is actually a really cool weapon, and it kind of bothered me that Char Zaku 2 didn't actually come with this since it was kind of absent. I guess it's cool they included the sniper rifle instead, but it is kind of nice to finally have just the regular old, classic, old school Zaku machine gun. The E-Runner is a very small runner of new parts for the Zaku 1. It looks like we have some neck pieces and a kind of collar section, a couple little thrusters, just little basic stuff like that. And then the F-Runner is another generic Zaku runner. It's got the heat hawks, the hands. Again, this is another piece of the body. This is that kind of neck circle area. I just saw one of those on this runner, so I imagine we're not using this piece. And then G is more Zaku 1 runner. So we have some more of that kind of orangish red color. We got the chest section here, the head, the backpack, some other little areas like that. I'm kind of surprised to see that his head doesn't have that kind of commander fin that his Zaku 2 does. I was kind of expecting to see that, but I guess that might be just a result of it being earlier on in his career in the Zeon Army, so he might not have actually been a commander yet. Of course, that's just a wild guess, as I have not actually seen the OVA. And finally, as he is an Origin kit, he comes with a standard size polycap sheet, or I guess standard before build fighters, because nowadays they use these little tiny little polycap runners, but back before build fighters this was pretty much the standard, and in the Gundam the Origin kits it seems like they're still keeping this as their standard polycap runner. Now, one thing that's kind of neat that they do on these newer Origin kits is they actually take the few foil stickers that they need and they put them on the peel and place decal sheet. So the two different mono eye options you have right here are actually right here on the decal sheet, and they're that same kind of thin plastic material, so that way they're able to get around having foil stickers in the kit, and they can basically make a kit that's a high grade but also has no foil stickers, even though they still technically have a couple little stickers right here for filling in the optics. And here we have the manual. Starting with the front cover, we can see that it's basically the same artwork that was on the box, except it's cut differently, so you don't see the explosion on this side, and instead you actually get a full body shot of the Zaku from head to toe. And I have to say, I like this cropping of the image a lot more than the one on the front of the box. Here on the back of the manual, you can see that same image from before, but the text section is actually new, so if you want to pause and look at that, you can go right ahead. Also, spoilers for Gundam the Origin Episode 4, I guess. We got some more of the same articulation call-out images right here, plus a couple extra ones showing off the leg movement and also the variable hip joints that these Origin kits are so well known for. Down here we have a marking guide showing you where to put all the peel and place decals that come with this kit. And below that there is a color guide for those of you who want to paint this model. The interior flap here has a lot of text on it and also a couple pictures of the kit we already saw on the front of the box. Down here in the corner it looks like we got a little more of an in-depth bio of Char as novel. And very hard to get in frame, at the top of the page right here, there's a bit more story information about the Zaku 1. If you want to pause on this and read it, you can go right ahead right about now. And then there's also a bunch of basic little tech descriptions of him all around the manual. Here we got one for the machine gun, the head, the backpack, the heat hawk, and the shield. And then down here we got the basic specs. And as usual, the rest of the manual is just your basic black and white build instructions. Nothing really fancy to see here. And of course, since this is an Origin model, there are a few X's on the runners. There's a few leftover pieces from the Zaku 2 on this runner, and also here on this runner. And that is just about everything you get in the box. So, first impressions on this kit, having opened it, are very positive, but that stems less from the actual first impression I got from these runners, and more from the fact that I've seen every single run of these runners before, so I know it's going to be an awesome build. So I'm going to start snapping this kit together as soon as I can, and I'm probably going to be talking about the Shizuoka news while I'm building it, because that's going to be coming up in less than 2 days, I believe, so very little time left to Shizuoka. So if you don't want to miss my news coverage of that, as well as any upcoming builds and reviews I'll be doing, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this unboxing, and as always, I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.